Okay, I think we're recording now. All right, so this is the 4th of July edition of Night Watch. And we haven't done this in like, I think the last one we did was with Tom and Steve. Was it? No, we did the resignations after that. I don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Are we calling this?
John Paul, you have to stay with your head centered on the light of the ceiling fan because you both look angelic, which I think will throw people off. But if you move, the glare is really bad, as is John Leo's fluorescent lighting. Yes, both of you don't move. Donna,
right, well, I'm kind of like
John Leo has to do the whole thing with his head like this.
How's that? I'm just gonna hold. My hand is raised. Are we calling this? Are we calling it the Berkeley Heights Tea Party edition?
The Tea Party? Oh, because of July 4th.
Kind of. Well, not necessarily. Semi-historically related. Yeah, it's related. Yeah, it works. Down with the English.
All right. So let's get. Can we get started? Or okay. Yeah. All right. So let's go with the agenda. Kabliska and CMS budget. What's up with that? You said something, Shauna. That's yours. The logo change.
Yeah. So in one of the Oprah requests, we had asked for correspondence surrounding the administration's reaction to the reconfiguration of all of the supervisors, and among those was the request for all of the administrators and supervisors and everybody else to come up with budget cuts. And I found it curious that Paul Kabliska stated there was nothing to cut from the CMS budget in those emails. And then a couple weeks later, we got that logo change, which, probably wasn't a fortune, but, if you've got money to spend on something stupid like changing a logo, there has to have been something that could have been cut from the budget.
No, I agree. Because so Laura, you got that, right? Was that your Oprah request that you where we got all those cuts that the BHAA suggested?
It was either mine or yours, but it was
one of ours.
There was a great deal of correspondence between the BHAA and the admin and the board about cuts and where they could cut, and Paul Kabliska was the only one who kind of was like, nope, nothing to cut. Have a good day. We're going to buy 4 TVs.
That was a huge contrast, right? I mean, they had pages and pages about, and a lot of it made sense. Some of it I didn't necessarily agree with, but there was despite that, there was a lot there that could get cut. And Sean, I think your point is that the fact that Kabliska couldn't come up with one thing, and the logo, I don't know. Yeah, I agree. I don't think there was much money involved with that. I don't know. I think it's the same logo as, I don't know, whatever. It was more that Kabliska couldn't find anything. That was weird to me. But I guess that, and he didn't show up to that meeting either, the BOE meeting that night where the BHA was, right?
They did mention at the district meeting, I said this on the show already, but it seems necessary to repeat, that he was announcing that they had money that was budgeted to redo the logo in the front of the school, so the tiger will be gone, and also buy paint because I guess the gyms are kind of color complementary of the former tiger logo. So I felt like it was, my kids are always like, Mom, they can't afford tissues or toilet paper, but we're buying TVs and paint to rebrand the school. All right, enough.
The TVs were a donation, actually.
They came from the Ed Foundation, right?
Yeah, I think they were a donation.
Were they necessary? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, that I can't, if someone's going to give you something, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was curious. And then there's Gale's diatribe. I'm reading what what? Say what?
Achoo.
Donna just sneezed, so I blessed her.
Man, that was weird.
That was quite.
She basically tried to respond to every single thing ever written in this huge thing, and it ended up being like a 1-minute explanation for the 50 things that people have emailed on, and none of the explanations were good. But go ahead, Sean. This is for you. What this was on your sort of Oh, and Pam shushing her. Pam actually was shushing somebody in the.
Yes, yeah, because Gale was. I mean, it's supposed to be talking about agenda items, and it sort of peripherally was, and then it just went way off topic, and she was on this and that, like you said, trying to answer every single email she'd received since January. And then when someone said, hey, are you going to make her stay on topic? You know, this is on agenda items. Then Pam was, shh, you know, which I found kind of funny, but sad. Because, yeah, Angela should have stopped her.
Well, Pam was shushing somebody in the audience.
Yes.
So there was somebody in the audience telling, oh, okay, you know that.
Yeah.
But what's weird to me is, like, they won't have a conversation, right? So we've been talking about this for, like, various things for months and months and months. And then they decide to give Gale a speech. I mean, this was clearly set up. Like, somebody typed that for her. She was reading off of a computer. She's going on for 19 minutes. It's the meeting. It's like nobody's watching this meeting. It's like right before July 4th. They hire all these people. One guy is from a district that's, I guess, imploding. And I think what's going on is all these districts that are imploding are trading employees. Like Julie's going to Ridgewood. We got this guy coming from someplace. But, you know, Gale did exactly what I thought she would do, which is, well, not her, but she basically pushed the line that I thought the board was going to push, which is we have these internal numbers that everything's saying is fine. And here's some vague stuff that we're going to do to improve our tanking proficiencies. So the proficiencies don't matter, yet we're doing things to improve them, but I can't tie them, and I'm not using the data behind them. It was really weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if Lori or John, you have any thoughts on that?
Let Leslie Nielsen, a Naked Gun, when he's saying there's nothing to see here, and it's on fire behind them. Just that's coming to my mind.
Yeah.
And then
I mean,
the other thing in that long diatribe was where are my notes here? Oh, her discussion about the interview process, and then she slips in there, and it's normal to shred the documents. And I'm going, what is she talking about? This was actually something Cy pointed out. And Cy's like, well, wait a minute. So there's more to come on that because they ain't supposed to be shredding anything.
So they shred that, like, just so people understand. I guess during this interview process, there were notes. and I guess whoever did the interview shredded the notes. Like, that, nothing speaks to the confidence that you have in hiring somebody like shredding the notes. I guess it was the interview process. And then there's, like, you know, this whole large cross section of people that were involved in this. And
widespread. Yeah. A wide variety. I want to know who the parents were who were on there.
Well, I mean, look, you know, if parents got involved, which is a good thing. But I guess, it's very selective. I mean, John, you brought up that Varley tends to call people who are favorable to her opinions to meetings to support them. I mean, I don't remember getting a call. Did any of you guys get a call to get involved in this?
No, so they used to have a bit of a process that was a little bit, showing favoritism, but at least there was something in place. So generally the superintendent would go to the president of the Berkeley Heights PTO and say, can you give me representation kind of across the board? Can we get some elementary? Can we get some middle? Can we get some high school? So then that would go out to the PTO presidents. And if they weren't interested, they would kind of find someone they thought would be a good fit. So this process completely came to a halt about a year ago. And I could probably guess with 99% accuracy who was on that committee, as I'm sure you all can too. So it's just, I find it fun. Whatever. I'm so over it all. Can we just quickly talk about, I love how they sort of write these scripts, right? This is like the Pam script when she had her like showdown with Mike DeQuilla last year. So you come to the board meeting, you have this whole monologue, and then to kind of throw us off, they have Robert interjecting with some really, really intelligent questions that were just so laughable. Like, well, would you say, intelligent questions. Like, hello, you're not fooling anyone. We know you all wrote that together.
Yeah.
Well, so I guess the thing that got to me too was sort of like, I was thinking about this, right? They kind of did they all voted on an ethics charge against Cy last year, which it's clearly backfired. I mean, I think 2/3 of that has been thrown out, and it's resulted in more ethics violations against them than against Cy at this point that have been substantiated. But just to kind of point out how political that is, right? So basically, they had violations of law, educational bidding violations, nepotism. None of that the board voted on, censoring anybody on. Like violation after violation, these guys all, it was only Cy. Cy was the only problem. Then that backfires. Cy's out after last year's election. And then you have a board member, Cy pointed out, like Pam, I think, is writing posts on Facebook in violation. And there's her BOE email address is on her campaign. What's that now?
You can't see it.
No, can't see it.
So I'm going to send this to you, John Paul. Pam Stanley has just recently updated her personal Facebook page to say, this page is my personal opinion and not the opinion of the Board of Ed. And that was hours after Cy gave her
but she still has her board email address on that. That's a campaign. Not only that, but like, so.
Pam.
Huh? Plus that disclaimer should be sort of going on everything, whatever. And they talked about how Cy went on forever. Well, I don't remember Cy ever going on as long as Gale did, and God forbid if she did, what they would do to her. I mean, the double standard on there. I mean, so the whole process at the BOE at this point has nothing to do with our schools. It's just gone completely political at this point. And Gale Bradford's 19-minute acid trip. But I mean that figuratively, not literally.
Long time.
Was just evidence of that. All right, let's go to Corley's letter where she completely slams Cianciulli, Young, Penna, Stanley, and Bradford.
Indirectly. She did not name them. Right.
She did not name them, but everybody knows that the whole idea of when you can't. What was her line there about the truth? That was a great line.
The ignorance of the truth, or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically ignoring facts that they don't like.
Yeah. So what did you want to say about that, Laura?
I don't know that I feel like it speaks for itself. If people haven't read it, read it. I think it validates that what we've kind of called attention to over the last few years is happening in the public forum that we're all aware of, happening behind closed doors that we are finding out through Oprah, but it's also happening with our staff. So that's scary. I mean, at some point there's going to be an exodus of so many teachers and administrators that we are just going to be it's just going to be a disaster.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know.
And I have a huge issue. I have a huge issue with people in this community trying to make that our fault.
Well, we're the ones
noticing it. We noticed it, so now it's our fault.
It's a common thing to do, to point towards the public.
It's a really. I'm going to tell you, the people who are doing it, believe me, that's been those guys have been doing it for. They did that with the municipal building. It's the same group. I'm not even worried about that. I'll tell you that I haven't had a teacher come up to me ever and say, stop doing what you're doing. Every teacher that I've spoken to across multiple people I don't even know, teachers I don't even know.
Agree.
Coming up to me and saying, that they're that they feel what we're doing is very important. And not just teachers that I don't even know, teachers that are leaving. I mean, it's like not a week goes by unless during the school year where I haven't heard. So I'm cool with what we're doing. I'm not worried. I know why teachers are leaving, and teachers are leaving because reassignments, because of what Corley alluded to as a hostile work environment. A few, people pushing out articles isn't the reason why teachers and principals are leaving. We haven't even mentioned teachers in our articles.
Well,
so this is just a way of covering Angela Penna. That's really it is. This is where it's coming from.
I will give them the benefit of the doubt that they're feeling pressure from us, and that's what they're pointing to, but they're blaming that as the cause. It's two totally different things. They're saying they're under pressure because they're getting scrutiny, which they should be.
Right. And this idea
that's
that we're
what
not
they mean
going to be able to hire anybody, like essentially, like the business administrator essentially went to a district where the same thing was happening here. The same attorney, and what's going on is districts are going to start playing musical chairs with everybody who's made mistakes, or who's coming out of fires. We had a good superintendent retire, Mincelli, from New Providence, I think this week. You don't see any of that drama over there. You don't see any of this nonsense. You don't see, and I talk to the teachers there too. They talk to me. So whatever, it is what it is. Anything else about Coralie?
No.
I didn't know her that much. She seems like a nice person. My youngest was there for a couple. Laura, you know her pretty well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I wrote a letter. I think we'll be publishing. She was a master of her art, which was early childhood education, and she. I mean, it's funny if you look at all the support the administrators in Columbia and Gale have, and I'm not saying they shouldn't have what they have, but justifiably they've got a base of students that need more. I always feel like she was juggling a lot, and she did it, in my opinion, well. And at the end of the day, like, she understood her purpose in that building was for each and every student. She did not get caught up in the bullshit and the drama, and she did her job, and she did it well, and she's going to be a huge loss for this district.
And that is just your opinion.
And I'm not on the Board of Education, but that is my opinion.
But the thing is like every person, like I try to think of this as like her and then Varley, and like we're very critical of Varley, but we're giving Coralie like the thumbs up. But like I'm sure she has people that were critical of her too. But she and what she did, we just are in agreement with. But she's right. I mean, she's a major administrative piece of the whole district that's saying it is poisonous over there. So I'm just saying, I think she was a great person, but it doesn't matter what her opinions are. Is what I mean to say is that she's saying that was a real indicator as to what's happening.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if we'll probably blow this clip out, but did you guys catch Sai's comments on the policy? She went through and pointed out every policy violation. Again, not one. Pam Stanley isn't writing ethics violations against these people, right? But
that meeting.
Yeah, yes. That meeting, the violations of free speech, the fact that this was really not a special meeting, that all this stuff could have been done in the scheduled August meeting. Like, these guys aren't going to, like, the only reason why an ethics violation occurred last year was political. Because if they were actually doing ethics violations on things that mattered, they would be churning them out every day, right? Which we don't really want, to be honest with you. I just want them to be gone. But we'll blow that clip out, and I think people should watch it. But it's a laundry list of basically, improper. They're violating a policy that I disagreed with last year. Like, they came up with a policy that board members shouldn't communicate on Facebook. I vehemently disagreed with that. The person who voted for it is violating it. Mm-hmm. And not only that, it's sort of like you go to these meetings. So what else are people supposed to do? You don't let them speak at meetings. You close off the comments on social media pages. You cut them off.
They don't reply to emails.
They don't reply to emails. What do you think people are going to do? Like, is people writing stuff and kind of informing? You don't give the public information, and you have to force Oprah requests, right? So you just want people to just shut up and let them do what they want.
Yes.
The problem here is them. This context wouldn't be necessary if it wasn't for their actions.
The problem is us, John Paul. Please stay in the lane. We are the problem.
Yeah, I mean, I've been the problem for years. I don't really give a fuck.
I know.
Yeah.
For the record, we got into a fight last week.
Yeah.
That was good.
That was a doozy.
So
that was a really good one.
So just so everybody's aware, there's dissent within as well.
Yeah.
But it's the ability to disagree and move on, get on with your lives, right?
I still hate him. I still hate John Lee.
That's fine, but we can work together.
Agree to disagree.
Very, very low
I
pay
hate me
scale.
too. We're in agreement.
We're bonded by hate.
Jesus Christ.
Damn
I
it.
do not hate anyone here, for the record.
Uh,
I don't know.
Strong
Can
words.
I go off our agenda
yeah.
item? So I, from time to time, like to go to Berkeley Heights Appletrack just to see what excess we're looking for. So as of 6/27, under administration, there is a job posting for school business administrator and board secretary. There's also a posting for an interim school business administrator and board secretary. So it looks like are they looking for two? Are they nervous no one wants it?
They're looking for another job opportunity for the Oprah custodian.
Okay, so there we go. Speaking of this,
basically the principals of the elementary schools are going to be fielding Oprah requests while
right,
he
they don't have
gets
enough to do
for it, and he's going to run the business office. Yeah.
Speaking of Oprah, I'm going to jump there too, and then I will shut up. So I sent an email to the Oprah custodian, who is Steve Hopkins, earlier in this week regarding a request I had made. And I got an out of office auto reply that he will not be back and has limited access to email until July 17th. So from the date of my email, that was about 3 full weeks. So I emailed the board asking a very simple question, that who in his absence would be responsible for Oprah's, and to no surprise, crickets. It's a little concerning.
It should be caught, right? I mean, she's should be the business administrator. She's not done yet, right? I mean, she resigned, but he reports to her in that field, right?
He does. But my
so
Oprah
she's
request
responsible for
also
duties,
said, right, but the Oprah request also failed to have a cover letter, which it's supposed to. And it also said the Board of Education has received your Oprah request, and I have never sent an Oprah request to the Board of Education. So I'm not sure what's going on, or if Steve Hopkins is afraid of lawsuits like Julie Cott is facing.
Yeah, she's got 2 that's coming up. Well, I'm not going to get into them too much, but part of the whole reason isn't like a lot of the reason why people are leaving at the very top level, I think, has more to do with a lot of the consequences that are going to be coming down. It doesn't. It has very little to do with what people are saying. It has a lot to do with what the courts are going to say and what ethics committees are going to say. But we'll find that out. So, can I bring something? Is it okay if I bring something up, or?
No, absolutely.
Okay. Well, I got a random email. So this is I don't know if you saw it too, Laura. There was sort of this email from somebody about an affirmative action investigation. So I emailed the Board of Education, and so I've also heard this from other sources, not anybody that was filing it. So I emailed Penna and them.
Oh my God, what did they say?
I haven't heard anything. No, I only sent it on Friday, so I'm gonna wait till like Monday or Tuesday. I don't know. It feels like this is actually happening. This is the first time somebody actually put it in writing. I don't even know who this person is, but this is the first time somebody put it in writing and sent it to me. I've actually heard this from other people. It was on the back of my mind. I haven't really given it much thought, but based on who this person implicated in his email, it's actually going to be a big deal. So I'm just trying to get confirmation from them, and just to find out how much we're going to have to pay for this. This is just and this didn't come from us, man. This wasn't, none of us, I don't work for them, so I don't have any kind of affirmative action, whatever shit going on.
You mean you didn't file the lawsuit, you mean?
No, actually, I don't think I've ever filed anything. Oh, I did the OTMA thing.
That's it. We can't file a
affirmative action. Yeah, that's an employee.
We can't do that.
Yeah, but what are the reasons why they're filing lawsuits?
Right. To that point, so that we can't force that. That's an internal right.
Oh no, but somehow we did. I'm sure.
Yeah, this is our fault.
This is our fault.
Yeah.
We're puppeteers.
The reduction in proficiencies, the Pam Stanley writing an ethics violation that backfired, people leaving all that stuff, that's on us. Varley's done that. Varley, who's in charge of this and has shut everybody out and makes every single decision in the district, has absolutely nothing to do with those bad outcomes.
Well, it's COVID. It was COVID.
And COVID and AP students. I'm sure AP students are behind this shit, man. I'm telling you.
Yes, because they're lazy. They tap out.
COVID was hit Berkeley Heights the hardest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there anything else we need to talk about?
All the data.
So we're also getting into town council stuff. So I like three. So Tom and I don't agree on a lot of things, but he's big on transparency, so I like a lot of his platform. Steve comes across as a really good guy. Bill, look, I like him. He seems like a really decent, good candidate. So, and Margaret's been around for a while. So, we have some we have a field here of town council candidates, and I hope
I'm so sorry.
Don't
easy now.
I
Let him continue his monologue.
I hope, motherfucker. I hope the debates can center on facts and positions.
End it, Gale Bradford. End it.
Jeez, you're at 19 minutes already. Let's go.
You guys. It was a very sensitive area.
Oh
I had
my
to
God.
walk a line, I don't want to piss anybody off.
Oh my.
You have to say something so people can see the cat.
I am. What's that?
No, I think they'll see all four of us now for some reason.
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Get in there. Get in there.
I think so. Yeah.
Here's a butt. Here comes a butt. Yes. Got the butt.
All right. What are we talking about?
No, forget it. I'm Gale Bradford, so I can't. Now I'm afraid to talk.
Oh right. Okay.
No,
Here we are.
I'm shutting
Do you
this
want?
out.
Do you want?
Okay.
Do you want town council or Oprah?
Just don't talk about trees, Don Leo.
Don, you got something about trees? Or
No.
like
No.
Oh, I'm
No.
midlife crisis. I'm all about trees now.
Well, what's going on with that Westminster thing? So there was a resident that actually did a good job, and then they brought some guy in there trying to tank her presentation. Go ahead.
An environmentalist, I think. So okay, so I can't speak on this. I'm on the planning board. I had to keep on giving that piece. But I'll tell you what the environment was, and this is going to go back to the same thing I've been talking about before with the tree ordinance. This is the tree hugger piece. But people keep on saying what's going on in Berkeley Heights is awful. I can't believe what's happening in the town, and I really think about that. And I think they're trying to point to the current administration, Angie, and they're like, "Oh, this is awful. What's happening in town?" So I think a lot about this. I try to figure out what's happening, and I'm like, I look at this. I look at what happened on June 22nd. And you have developer versus resident. And the resident is trying to make a case that they don't want this land behind them developed. And they're going to clear cut. They're going to cut 250 trees to put in five houses. This goes back to the tree ordinance. You made me lose my train of thought, goddammit. Here's what's going on in town. If you wonder about where we are, why we are here, it's because we allowed it to happen over the past couple of years. Can you give me my 19 minutes? Do you mind? We give properties like that away at a discount in Berkeley Heights. And this is one little example with this goddamn tree ordinance I keep on pointing to, is that if Jeff and Manny say that they don't want to raise the tree ordinance permit $10 because of inflation, and it would be not fair for the residents who want to cut down 1 or 2 trees, that has a flip side to that same token, and that when somebody wants to cut down 250 trees, they're getting a discount on that, because if you go 1 town and 2 towns over, they have to pay modern fees. Our tree ordinance is from 1976. So when you come in here and you look at Berkeley Heights and you want to develop, you look at a bunch of ordinances that haven't been updated in 40 years, you're getting fees from the 1970s and those rates. So you're developing at a discount in Berkeley Heights. And that should have been fixed when the other towns fixed this 10, 20, and 30 years ago. So the people who actually are making those cases are the Republicans who have been running this town for the past 10 or 20 years. So if you don't like Berkeley Heights getting run over, start asking your your town council people to start updating ordinances. They've been sitting on the tree ordinance since Jeff and Manny said that it's not fair for the resident who's going to pay a $15 fee for one tree and free if it's diseased, but they pay the contractor $6,000 to remove the tree. So the fee is nothing. I'm done.
So I mean, why not just do an ordinance for developers? Just make it if you're going to cut down so many trees,
Good
then the
question.
rate goes up or something. Yeah.
So I talked to ex-councilman Alvaro about this, and he said that would be discrimination.
He's on toys.
So
Discrimination.
you can't discriminate. So if you classify people, developer, non-developer,
No, don't do it by people. Do it by quantity. So if you do more than 5 trees, then the price goes up.
But what if you're still a homeowner that you're not developing, but you need to cut 50 trees? You're still in that bucket.
But that, it's not perfect, but it's better.
Right. Now here's the thing: is I emailed Jeff and Manny a solution to this, and one was to keep the fees for residents the same and even make it free if you can. But stormwater ordinances, the things that control where you put your stormwater, they already have language for small and major development. So they already do that discrimination thing. So you can grab developers and categorize them based on existing ordinance language and just put them in the same bucket and say, hey, if you want to take a single lot and develop it into 4 or 5 houses, you're in this category and we're going to charge you more if you want to do that. Because people in Berkeley Heights don't want to develop.
No one tells me where to put my stormwater.
I'm done.
I put it wherever the fuck I want.
All right, I'm not going to get into that. I hold stormwater close here, and I need an hour.
Go call Gale Bradford. You can each talk for an hour.
Can you guys
So
go off for
you guys all yelled at
You're
me, and I didn't go anywhere near as long as he did.
But you guys were making faces at me the whole time.
Me?
Yeah, I did.
Fucking word.
All right, are we done
I
here,
did.
guys? I think we've wrapped up everything up. Is there anything else that we needed to talk about?
Yeah, I have a couple things.
Yeah.
Okay,
Go.
so in
No
light
faces.
of Independence Day, I actually got like a pop-up news flash about ketchup. All right, John Paul, like sit the F down.
Oh,
we know
Jesus,
you're
what
obsessed
just
with ketchup. You have a ketchup in the bedroom? Okay, so the question is, do you refrigerate your ketchup or do you leave it out?
Refrigerate.
It tastes like
Donna?
shit when you leave it out. It develops this like gross, like hard
Yeah, that,
skin
like-
on the top.
Okay, so according to Heinz, the ingredients used in their ketchup are shelf stable, but they recommend refrigeration for quality.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's
I'm
all
with
I
them
want.
100%.
I also just want to say that I discovered the mint cream Oreo cookie. It's delicious. It's like a Girl Scout cookie, but better. And I stopped counting after 4 tonight. That's all I'm going to say.
I
Okay, so
can't
this is why we're on longer than we need to be because of this shit. Because of the ketchup.
It's only been 33 minutes.
Yes, those
Yes.
Oreos.
Is that all?
Can't believe you're only discovering them now. Ketchup is disgusting and not banned completely.
Ketchup
Wait,
as
do
a
you not
whole
use-
is disgusting. Like you don't
Yeah.
use it at all.
Gross.
Wow.
Ketchup is so nasty. Ugh.
It's tomatoes. It's tomatoes and vinegar.
Yeah, vinegar and sugar. Tomatoes and vinegar and sugar. What? Who came up with that combination? It's awful. Gross.
John Paul did.
You know what?
He's a vampire. He actually created it.
Like, you would- So I would ask who ate a
Your fault.
lobster first. Like that's more disturbing. Like who
Just saying.
decided, hey, eating a lobster is a good idea?
They also made
Well,
Marley.
ketchup makes sense.
There's weird shit out there.
John Paul, if you could just move your head a little bit in the other direction.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Get a new ceiling fan.
And John Lee,
Jesus.
keep-
I'm in a
Keep your
shore
left
house right
shoulder
now,
up.
man. I don't control what's going on here.
Oh God!
you should have been on the beach doing this. That would have been
Oh.
sexy.
The amount of money around here is ridiculous. I'm at the shore house. Privileged.
You're clearly
No,
in an
not
underground
my
bunker.
shore house. I'm renting a shore house.
Where's your bedpan, John?
Same thing. How many
It's the same
square?
place
How many
That's
square?
where I put my storm waters in my bedpan.
How many square feet is that that house you're in, John?
I don't know, man.
4,000? 5,000?
Man, it's only
What?
4 of us here. I didn't get like a huge house.
How many hot
I'm
tubs?
renting a house. I didn't buy a house.
How many hot tubs are in there?
Like
Why
6
weren't we invited?
Yeah.
in my
that's kinda
bedroom.
pissed me off.
What?
Why
Why
weren't
weren't
we
you invited? You have to ask that question.
How many hot tubs?
Yeah. I thought we were good, John Paul. Are we not good?
Yeah,
Are we
from a
not close?
distance. Yeah. Like on
Whoa.
video. Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. That line's been drawn, my friend.
Everybody
kidding.
signed off by now.
Wow. All right. Well.
Did you want to talk
Okay.
stormwater?
No,
John Leo, nobody can
No.
shit. Please stop.
All right, guys. Have a good night. All right.
Bye.
That was
Bye.
awful.
It wasn't that bad.